You entrusted your loved one's care to a nursing home, expecting compassion and quality treatment. Instead, they suffered from neglect, abuse, bed sores, falls, or medication errors that could have been prevented. I'm Chris Brown from Geiger Legal Group. Our elderly deserve dignity and proper care, not negligence that causes pain and suffering. When nursing homes fail in their duty of care, we fight to hold them accountable. Your loved one's suffering matters. We'll stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves.
Call Geiger Legal Group at 833-HELP-GLG and let us tell your story today.
You snoozed twice this morning, spilled your coffee once, and you've already blamed last night's referee for your morning mood.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's time to embrace the chaos and step into the madness.
Bro, you about to see a side of me you didn't even know existed.
Featuring guests who are over-caffeinated and less reasonable than the average person.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Ugh.
Fans, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Welcome to the show.
So buckle up. It's time for hot takes and hot mics. This is the Morning Rant, where the only thing more unpredictable is Dave before his third cup of coffee.
I just felt like running.
On WPGY, the Sports Pig.
And had to remind me to start record on the video version of the show. Thanks, partner. I almost left that step out. I almost chopped off the front of our show. So if you're watching on YouTube later today, it probably will be chopped off just a little bit. But that's okay, man. You still get the gist of it right here. But, man, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Just trying to stay busy and doing well at that.
Trying to keep me in line already this morning, man. So I appreciate that, and that's a tough job to do. Things going on, and we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA, NHL playoffs, of course, getting underway, the conference semifinals for both respectively. A lot of NFL news and notes. Of course, the Braves is going to be the bulk of what we talk about today because we are here with our Braves insider, Will Cooper, who always brings it. And I know you're not working on a lot of sleep this morning, partner. You're still looking good, though, man. It looks like you got a little bit of a cut there, and man, looking fresh, man.
Yeah, I do have a slight rant about barbershops.
Oh, okay.
And I'll keep it brief.
Okay.
But so I have a Gen Z pet peeve, and it's when you go to a barbershop that you like and they don't have a way to check in online.
Right.
And you're trying to fit it in an hour. You're on your lunch break. You're trying to go in, and then there's 20 people in there, and you go back and back and back. You never get your hair cut. So that's the situation here. We have a local barbershop. Can't check in. You just got to hope that nobody's there. Yeah. Well, after 2 weeks, I'm just going to run down to Sports Clips and pay the $25 for a haircut that sucks. And this is the second time I've been there. The first time they left it super long. This time they cut it super short. I just wish that there was a way that we could normalize making sure that there's a check-in system so people who have normal lives don't have to spend 3 hours at a barbershop.
Don't have to spend 3 hours. Well, hey, and I totally get that, man. I totally get that. I mean, we've done different things over the years. I know you've done the Dominican, barbershop thing, over time and everything. They tend to do a pretty good job. But yeah, there's different ones out there. I know, like Great Clips, some of them, they have, apps and early check-ins, things like that. So it is frustrating, but I think it's a great look, man. I don't think it's too short at all, man. I think you wear it well.
Well, I appreciate that. I think it shows off a lot of my grays. I was.
Bro, you don't know nothing about gray, man. You don't know anything about.
No,
gray,
they asked me at the Golden Corral if I was, here for the early bird special because I like to eat at 5 o'clock because I'm still on Eastern time.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that special. Honestly, because I'm almost at that age where I'm flirting with it now. I'm at that point where, I'm only a year or two away from being able to enjoy that discount. So, hey, it is what it is.
Stop it a year or two away.
Well, hey, you look good, man. You're wearing your dragon green this morning right here on the program. The Pickens Dragons, a lot of buzz in the area about state baseball championships taking place. We're going to dive into that a little bit later in the show during our prep rally, our high school roundup. But again, your thoughts, man. The Etowah Eagles, with their series on Monday on Memorial Day to open up the 6A bracket. Pickens High School in the 3A bracket taking on Troup County on Saturday in the doubleheader, game 3 if necessary on Monday. But yeah, some good local representation. We mentioned Kell and Pope respectively in 4A and 5A as well. So yeah, it's always great to see so many local teams taking a shot at it.
Yeah, it's always great. Etowah is a team that's been there, done that pretty consistently since really the last decade plus. But for Pickens, it felt like kind of a culmination of what Coach Williams has been building over there, since he came in the door. And it's good to see that they, not only have had a talent pipeline when we talk about guys like Connor Schaus, who I saw won, I think it was Big 12 Player of the Month for Texas Tech.
Right.
So shout out to him. And obviously that talent has continued to develop this year, making it all the way to the state title, beating, Calhoun, who was a really tough customer, to earn this bid. And it's good to see. I mean, across the board, you feel like Pickens is kind of like Creekview basketball was this year with the girls team. They were getting in the right direction. That's how Pickens feels to me. So it's good to see him on that stage. And I think they got more than a fair shot in this one.
Yeah, hovering around the top 10. I mean, they've been in the dance for the last several years and kind of been in the mix, if you will, for a state championship. Fell to Troup County last year in the Final Four, if you will, for baseball. And Troup County would go on to win the state championship. So again, the Tigers from Troup out of LaGrange are the defending state champs. So the Dragons with a little redemption perhaps as they make it now to the state championship and get a step closer. Again, we'll talk about that later in the show as well. The Jasper Coca-Cola text line is open, 866-888-0744. Once again, 866-888-0744. If you want to chime in, talk about any of the things that we're talking about, or if you want to throw some trivia at us or what have you. Again, the Jasper Coca-Cola text line, as always, is open. Again, this is the fastest 1 hour in sports talk radio, as we always say. And again, it does move fast, so I kind of want to jump in to a couple of things, but I do want to mention real quick, again, the Bradley's Bar and Grill, we're going to be back there later in June, and I want to remind folks that we are currently selling raffle tickets, 8 for $20. Again, we are auctioning off Big John Davis with a couple of jerseys that he's got to give away there, and so looking forward to it. Again, there's also a Bill Curry book giveaway as well, so 8 tickets for $20. Again, John will be putting some stuff on Facebook, so if you're not following John Davis on Facebook, go to Facebook, look up Big John Davis, give him a request, and he'll post everything there. But giving away, a Gilmer High jersey, a Georgia Tech jersey, and of course a Buffalo Bills jersey as well. We're doing this all for charity. It's benefiting the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Georgia, the Appalachian Children's Center, and Ellijay, which serves the entire Appalachian Judicial Circuit, and then also the Cobb County PAL, which is the Police Athletic League, as well, benefiting the police and benevolence and all that, of course, in Cobb County. So a lot of great things going on there, and we appreciate you guys checking in. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on our Friday happy hour of the show with our man, Big John Davis, as we continue to talk about some of the big things that we have coming up, including the June 3rd golf tournament, the John Davis Classic at Bent Tree. That is coming up here in a couple of short weeks. We're excited about that. Of course, we'll be broadcasting live from there as well. Again, a lot of NFL news yesterday, as we shared. We talked about schedule release. One of the things we haven't talked to you since, last Thursday. And so we talked about, schedules being released, this, that, and the other. Your thoughts on that? Anything jump out at you as far as the number of international games that are being played? And oh, by the way, the NFL put out something that they're planning on even more international games in 2027.
Yeah, I think we're not too far removed from having an international team. It seems like that's what they're trying to prep people for is either having a team in the United Kingdom or Mexico or Canada or something, which has always been a nightmare scenario for travel.
Right.
I hate it for certain teams. I mean, I think it's either the Chargers or the 49ers that are going to travel like 69,000 miles this year. Yeah. It's asinine, the amount of travel they have to do. It kind of reminiscent of the Pac-12. I don't know if you saw this about Cal or not, but since they made the ACC tournament for baseball, they had to fly across the country to play Stanford, who is 100 miles from their campus, but they had to play them in North Carolina.
Oh, gosh.
Played one game, got bounced, and then had to fly home.
Wow.
It's just how all that works. It's kind of the same thing with the NFL right now.
I hate the geographics of the realignment of college sports. I mean, you've got teams on the West Coast that are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. It makes no sense, and I get it. It's just a money play, but I really do. I really do kind of hate that. That you've got teams that are all over the country that are playing, in the Big Ten, which traditionally is that Midwest, the northern, area of the country, and so I do kind of. To me, it doesn't make sense to call the SEC really even the SEC anymore to a certain extent, although they're a little bit more geographically centric in that conference. But I guess the Big Ten, it's not in their name. It's not like it's the North Big Ten or whatever. So, I get it. But, the Pac, it's just the Atlantic Coast Conference is the Atlantic Coast, and you've got teams from the Pacific Coast. I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't feel right to me. I really do hate it,
It's ruined a lot of that kind of stuff. And I mean, again, at a certain point, we either got to say they're professional athletes and who cares, or we got to realize that, these kids got to fly for sports that we don't think about, i.e. volleyball, baseball, like that one-off game they had to play, and say, what, we're going to have to set up dual offices. The Atlantic Coast Conference needs their Pacific division.
Right,
almost.
Exactly. That would make sense there. Hey, some other NFL news. Nashville being awarded the 2030 Super Bowl. Again, so as expected, I don't think there was any surprises there. Obviously, building the new stadium. We talked about it yesterday. Anytime a city builds a new stadium, it pretty much aligns you with a Super Bowl, at some point. Sometimes you got to build another one to get your second Super Bowl. As we've seen in Atlanta, the Georgia Dome, then they had to build Mercedes-Benz. Now, of course, we're up with the Super Bowl in 2020. Here in Atlanta, but nonetheless, the Super Bowl's name there. And also, Urban Meyer loses his lawsuit against the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Well, it's. I was thinking about this the other day. I heard if you're going to buy any stock, I would buy in CVS because now that LSU's hired Ed Orgeron, there's going to be a run on Morning After between him and Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge. So, if you have any kids going to LSU, man, buckle up.
Hot takes, hot mics right here in this first segment already. Man, Coop is out of the gate strong, just like Napoleon Solo was at the Preakness last Saturday. Again, oh man, we appreciate you guys being with us right here. Hey, the Jasper Coca-Cola text line's already bumping, 866-888-0744. We had a listener say, wanting to play some trivia with us. I said something about trivia. They want to play trivia with us. They said, and we'll do this after the break. Name the 3 Atlanta Braves teammates, and this is perfect timing because we'll dive into our Tomahawk take in the next segment, presented by your friends at Northside Hospital Cherokee. Name the 3 Atlanta Braves teammates who each hit 40-plus home runs in the same season. So, again, the 3 Atlanta Braves teammates who all 3 hit 40-plus home runs in the same season. And we'll tackle that one for you coming up here after the break. Hey, appreciate you guys being with us right here on a Tailgate Thursday presented by your friends at Green Heating and Cooling. Once again, they've been getting it done since 1971. Green Heating and Cooling, a tradition of comfort. Again, our Tomahawk take coming up. Hang it in the Lou. Favorite moments from the week in sports so far. We'll dive into some NBA, NHL, the Prep Rally High School Roundup, and the Cooper Predictor later in the show. We'll tell you how to bet right here on the program. Stay with us on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. It's the Morning Rant right here on the SportsPig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Welcome to your hometown pub. Open 7 days a week, the pub in Ella J is your happy hour hangout. They offer a variety of dishes to satisfy every palate, and their friendly staff is here to ensure a wonderful time. Join them for daily happy hour specials Monday through Thursday. And don't forget, every Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with $1 wings all day long. Located at 941 Maddox Drive in East Ella J. Open Sunday through Wednesday till midnight, Thursday through Saturday till 2 a.m. The Pub in Ella J, where every visit feels like home.
Grand Slam!
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball. Big opinions of the big games from the big mouths.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the Morning Rant on WPGY The Sports Pig, North Georgia's home for ESPN Radio.
Sit down.
The groundwork has been laid for the Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant. Good morning, everyone. Dave Garner, Will Cooper back with you right here on a overcast Thursday in North Georgia. A little bit of rain in and out of the forecast over the next couple days right there, but we appreciate you guys being with us. NHL, NBA conference finals underway right now. Again, we saw the implosion by the Cavaliers. And it was very much, I felt like it was an true Atlanta Falcon moment, right? A 22-point blown lead. And it wasn't like they led by 22 in the first half and then let the game get away with them. I mean, the Cavs led by 22 points, all right, with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game, and still somehow found a way to lose it. So the Knicks lead that series 1-0. Game 2 tonight between those two. Meanwhile, OKC evened up the series with the Spurs last night at home as they get the dub over San Antonio. But a very competitive series it looks like it's going to be. I think everybody kind of assumed that OKC would just kind of take that and kind of roll over the Spurs. But Wemby says, no, man, we're going to make it tough on you.
Yeah, look, Wemby is a heck of a ball player. I didn't think the Spurs had much of a prayer to get to this point, much less be competitive in this series. But they're hanging in there, and they've continued to prove me wrong. And again, I think I mentioned this on the show maybe a week or so ago, but it's so refreshing to have an NBA Finals or playoff, I should say, at this juncture, with no Warriors, no Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nice to have fresh teams in there. It's good to see it.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I don't really care. Now, I do like the Spurs, and that would be the team that I would be rooting for the rest of the way. I'm not really a big Cavs fan or a Knicks fan. I mean, if you're a Hawks fan, you kind of have a hard time liking those teams when you battle against them, so much throughout the season right there. But nonetheless, it looks like a pretty competitive NBA. NHL, the Golden Knights get the dub over Colorado last night, over the Avalanche. Man, I think that was another one where, Avs have kind of just rolled through the postseason, and really, they dropped the one game to the Wild, early in that series in the last round. And of course, they swept, their opening series. But Vegas, man, with a little bit of a statement last night as they go up 1-0 on Colorado. Meanwhile, Carolina, man, they've been in the clubhouse for a while now, just waiting on that 7-game series to play out between Montreal and Buffalo. Of course, the Canadians take it. So those guys getting underway in the Eastern Conference Finals as well. Stanley Cup playoffs alive and well.
Yeah, the Canadians' absolute battle with the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, absolute cinema game 7 overtime.
Time to hang it in the Louvre.
It was a great, great scenario.
Our favorite moments from the weekend sports here on the Morning Rant.
When you look at the series with Vegas and Colorado, you have skill versus speed. Yeah. And, Vegas has played Anaheim already. They're kind of used to facing that speed. And when you realize their front lines, the guys like Mark Stone, Tomas Hertl, so deep, so skilled and veteran group, it's difficult. And I think I like Vegas in that series. I don't think Colorado will be able to outskate them. On the opposite side, I feel like it's all just kind of lambs to the slaughter in terms of the Carolina Hurricanes at this point. I mean, to your point, they've been rested for 2 weeks, seriously. So they're going to be very fresh.
They are going to be fresh, no doubt, and that'll be a fun one to watch, certainly, because, Montreal, as we know, is kind of the Yankees of hockey. I mean, they've won more championships than anybody, so certainly from a traditional standpoint, but Carolina seems like on another level right now. I kind of felt like it would be Carolina and Colorado on a collision course, but who knows, man? The Knights, they're just a few years removed, I guess, from a Stanley Cup championship, so who knows, man? It'll be interesting to see what happens right there. Hey, Atlanta Braves get the dub last night, 9-1, so they've now taken 2 of 3. Game 4 today, 4-game set down in Miami. They'll wrap up that series a little bit later this afternoon, early evening game right there. We're about to jump into our Tomahawk take, and we'll get caught up with Will Cooper and his thoughts. A lot of transactions over the last week or two with guys being put on the IL, coming back from the IL, being released altogether, being signed, added. We still see new guys continuing to pop up on this lineup, but I do want to go back to our Jasper Coca-Cola text line for just a moment. 866-888-0744. We had a listener post a trivia question on there. Name the 3 Atlanta Braves teammates who hit 40-plus home runs, 40 or more home runs in the same season. And do you want to take a crack at that? I'm trying not to, pull it up and Google it and make it sound like, oh, we knew the answer. But legitimately, you have it because I've been sitting here watching you. I did pull it up. I had a feeling that I kind of knew what it was, but I wanted to make sure. But you're our Braves insider. You want to take a shot at it?
I'm going to say my heart wants to say that 2023 there wasn't I know Matt Olson had 50 plus, but I don't think anybody else on the team got to 40. If it was Ozuna, but I don't know that there was a third. I don't think Riley ever hit 40. I don't know that Acuna hit. I think that he hit like 38 that year.
Yeah.
So my heart of hearts tells me to go back to the 90s and take a look at a group like Crime Dog, Andrew, and Chipper.
Right.
So that's where I'm going to go because I think that's the best I can do. I don't think there's been enough production in the 2000s to get 340 home run hitters.
Well, I will tell you this, and again, the question was put to us as, name the 3 Atlanta Braves teammates who hit 40-plus home runs. It's actually been done twice. So the last time, you were right. I mean, it was 2023. The one guy you were missing was Acuna. So Matt Olson hit 54, Acuna had 41, and Marcell Ozuna had 40. Now, we all know how that season turned out, and that was one of the things that was so disappointing to me about 2023 was the fact that, it just didn't materialize in anything, and yet we had the offensive production we had. But I was also looking up the year I was born, 1973, the Braves apparently were the first team in Major League history to feature a trio. It's been done 4 times, twice by the Braves, 40 home run hitters in a single season. Davey Johnson, 43, Darrell Evans, 41, and Hank Aaron, 40. So, again, it looks like it's been done twice unless I'm looking up the wrong thing right here. So, hey, great trivia question. We want to hear from you guys. We love when you guys throw us stuff like that. So, try to stump us right here on the Morning Rant on our Jasper Coca-Cola text line, 866-888-0744. Let's talk some Braves.
It's time to chop on.
Swung on it, jolted high in the air, deep right field, back to the wall, a sonic boom out of the ballpark. Braves win it!
From Truist Park to every corner of Braves country, we've got your daily dose of Atlanta Braves baseball.
A walk-off grand slam, and this place erupts here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Highlights, hot takes, and all things red, white, and navy. It's the Tomahawk Take on WPGY, the Sports Pig.
All right, the Braves get the dub yesterday, 9-1. They got shut out in game 1 of the series, 12-0. It was like, what's going on here? Miami is, a division team, always kind of a thorn in the Braves' side somewhat. Even when they're not that good, they still tend to pose a challenge, of course, being a division team. But the Braves have rebounded. They've won the last 2. They'll wrap up the 4-game set today before returning home against the Nationals. Your thoughts, man? I mean, you look around. I know that some of the transaction we talked about over the last couple of days, Aaron Bummer, of course, being released. Chadwick Tromp being reassigned to the big club with Drake Baldwin going down on the aisle, which is a huge blow because we all know that Drake has been raking all year long for this Atlanta Braves team. But what you make of these guys over the last week since we last talked?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, talk about some of the transactions. Acuna back, seemed like maybe a little earlier than they were anticipating or wanting, but, Drake Baldwin's injury forced them to need the lineup back lengthened, which Acuna does for you.
Yeah.
And it kind of settles that first spot down because Drake has been hitting in the leadoff spot, but his numbers aren't nearly as good as opposed to when he's out of that.
Right.
Second thought, Baldwin gets kind of an earned time off in a way. I know it was an injury, but he was being used every single day.
Yeah.
And for a catcher, that is a brutal way to live. So it's good to see him get some rest. Not the way we planned, but it'll work. Andrew Bummer out. I hate it for him. He was a guy that we signed. We owed him $9 million this year. The shoulder injury a couple years ago really put him back. The stats have not been there over the last couple of years. The sabermetrics have been horrible for him. So it was necessary because the bullpen's too crowded.
Yeah.
J.R. Ritchie gets sent down. We'll see him again this year. He's a guy that just needs to learn the out pitch. He doesn't have the out pitch yet, which is why we've seen so many 12, 13 pitch at bats, and he gets run out of the game in the 5th inning. So all in all, they're putting it together. They're beating teams they should beat. I know the 12-0 spot made everybody go, what the heck? But the big thing is over the last 2 games, the offense appears to be clicking again, thanks to Acuna feeding everybody else that energy that we've missed with Baldwin out.
Yeah, we really have, and we're going to need that. And it was kind of timely because Baldwin goes out, Acuna comes back in, and so you're hoping that Acuna can replace some of that production. Did have a hit and a run last night. Again, a deep ball there from Dominic Smith, who continues to just, impress. Another shot there. Austin Riley with a 3-run homer as well. That was a huge hit, of course, in the ball game. So he continues to come around, and that's good news because you were sharing some next-gen stats about Austin Riley and some of the players like you tend to do right here on the program. So it's very encouraging to see, Austin Riley. And of all people, now Yaz didn't do anything last night, but even Yaz seems like he's playing with a little bit more confidence because Walt keeps marching him back out there. And I think even Yaz said, hey, the fact that, Skip has so much, faith in me and confidence in me, you're starting to see some of that at least now with Yastrzemski and some of the spot starts. Of course, we shipped Jonah Heim, as you mentioned, to the A's. And then, of course, Sean Murphy's out. Now Drake's out. Now we've got, Sandy Leon, who was catching last night. You've got, as we talked about, Chadwick Tromp, who spent, the last couple years, on and off the big squad. They're still in the system. So, the one luxury I would say so far in the season the Braves seem to have is depth. Fortunately for them, we've seen a lot of different lineup moves. Hassan Kim coming back, as well. So, it's kind of a good luxury to have, I think, if you're the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, and that's part of what they wanted to do this year was not spend the $400 million on the one guy, but spend the $100 million on 4 guys.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. They've distributed it. Ha-Seong Kim, Mauricio Dubon's on a very team-friendly deal. Jorge Mateo was a cheap signing, and you kind of go down the list and you realize that you've got guys that can play the outfield, infield, everywhere you need.
Yeah.
Catcher's a very specialized position. So, it's horrible that you have your 2 guys that you thought would be there are neither of them are there for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And they're going to take their time with Baldwin. I know he's on the 10-day, injured list, but he's going to be longer than 10 days. They are not going to rush him. You can't afford to.
Right. There you go. Hey, had a message here on the text line. Says, tell Will his hair looks great on the radio. Ha. So, man, no worries, man. No worries. See, man, the fans are digging it, man. They digging it, so
face for radio and a voice for newspaper.
You and I always talk about that right here on the Morning Rant. Hey, visit us on our social media, the Sports Pig on Facebook, or I show the Morning Rant on Instagram. As always, you can also catch full video episodes of the show on YouTube. The podcast version of the show uploaded each day to our website, that's sportspigradio.com, and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast, Spotify, Podbeam, all the Apple, Android platforms that you know and love. You can catch me on Twitter at DaveGarner777. He's at Will24 Cooper, and this is the Morning Rant. Again, our Tomahawk take presented by your friends at Northside Hospital Cherokee. And real quick before we hit the break there, Chris Sale last night, he's been in form all year long. The last 2 starts, he just hadn't had any run support, so it was nice to see this lineup finally put together some runs for Chris Sale last night.
Yeah, he's just such a professional. When he runs out there, you're going to get, 6 innings at the least, and they may score 3 runs on him in the 6 innings, but such a stabilization in the rotation, which has been so up and down. And we have some bright spots, Bryce Elder and Spencer Strider, but man, Sale is really the anchor for that rotation and provides that veteran presence and surefire win.
Yeah, and we saw it the night before. It was the bullpen, that pitched 4 scoreless innings, that kind of picked up after, and I'm trying to remember who it was, Martin Perez, maybe, I think.
Martin Perez.
Yeah. So I've been impressed for the most part with the bullpen too. I mean, they definitely seem to have a rhythm. They've got that 6th inning guy, that 7th inning guy, the 8th inning setup guy, the closer. So for the most part, the bullpen has held up this year. Hopefully that trend will continue. A multi-hit night last night for Michael Harris, Ozzie Albies, and Dominic Smith. Hey, when we come back, again, we're going to talk a little bit about high school sports. We're going to talk about some of our favorite moments from the week so far. And later in the show, man, it's time to put some money down with the Cooper Predictor. All that and much more straight ahead on this Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. That's the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Whatever cooling solution makes the most sense, Green Heating and Cooling is ready to help. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new cooling system, Green will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort. With Green, you get more than just a technician. You get someone who's committed to meeting your needs and achieving a high level of training and skills. someone backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Nobody understands the ins and outs of home comfort like Green. So whatever your situation or budget, Green Heating and Cooling has a solution for you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, your official home for flag-to-flag coverage of NASCAR. We bring the heat, you bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
Back here on a Tailgate Thursday, presented by Green Heating and Cooling. The Professor Dave Garner, the Golden Boy Will Cooper, with you till 11 o'clock this morning. Again, Chuck Oliver up next with Southern Sports Today, the king of college football, with news and notes from around the world of college football. Man, oh man, it'll be here before you know it. You and I were talking, Coop, off air earlier in the week about, high school football and things, of course. It kind of has been a situation here in radio, especially local, where we're at here, where, you start putting the schedules together shortly after spring football practice. I mean, basically, high school graduation for a lot of some have already had graduations in the area. Some are on Friday and this weekend and what have you. So, again, we're right here at the end of the school year. And, when you get to that point in the year, I mean, if you haven't already started kind of making some plans for the fall, then you got a little catching up to do. So we're already taking a look at some schedules and things like that and kind of looking at our next step. But the season is not over yet. Spring season still going on right now for a couple of different sports. I know the state track and field championships have wrapped up, tennis, golf, some of those sports, soccer. Here we are at baseball, though, in the final week of school, essentially. And for a lot of the teams that are playing in the state championships this weekend and into next, they'll already be out of school. I mean, and they'll just be playing baseball at this point. It is one of those sports that tends to linger on even past the actual school year. But nonetheless, man, we're excited about it.
Yeah, we talk about in football the annual July oh crap. That's Art and I's non-official term for it. And it's the calendar hits July and you go, oh, no.
Yeah.
But, also with football, you're hoping to play to the Thanksgiving break. You're happy to play football on a Friday that you're out of school. Same thing with these teams in spring, man. Hey, keep winning. We're going to play all the way through summer. Yep. We're glad to do it. We'll gladly, run out of graduation and get on a bus if it means we got to, win a state title.
If it means bringing home the championship right there. Hey, speaking of Art, he is going to join me down in Columbus on Saturday. We will have live coverage of the 3A State Baseball Championship with the Pickens Dragons taking on Troup County. Our live coverage, we've actually bumped it up. We originally advertised 4:45, but if you're listening right now, listen to us on Saturday starting at 4:30 over on our sister station, 101.1 The Pulse. We will have live coverage of the doubleheader on Saturday night down in Columbus at the Synovus Park, which is the home of the AA Braves affiliate, the Columbus Clingstones, which is a very interesting name there. But Art Mosley and myself will have the play-by-play. If there is a Game 3 on Monday, I'll head back down and we'll have the coverage for you as well on that one. That would be a 6 o'clock start if they do play. But the Pickens Dragons, again, in the state championship. And you were talking about barbershops earlier. I want to thank some of our sponsors, and I'm just going to read them off real quick because these are people from the community that deserve to have their name said right here on the radio. The Wall Street Barbershop is a fairly new barbershop in town. So next time you're in town, Coop, you need to check out the Wall Street Barbershop. We appreciate all of our friends again at Amicalola EMC, our friends at ETC, Garner Ace Hardware, Community Bank of Pickens County, Cassie Rasco, Providence Partners of Berkshire Hathaway. Want to thank our friends at Roland Tire, Parrish Lowry State Farm. Again, J.L. Weaver, attorney at law. Got J.L. on with us. Again, Alpha Insurance, Bill Lawrence, our friend Bill Lawrence, who was on during the football season, back with us for the baseball. Want to thank Paul Kiker and all of our friends at Kiker Wealth Management who are coming on board. And as always, our friends at United Community Bank. Again, they are all on board with us for Saturday and Monday, potentially. Hopefully the Dragons will just go ahead and win the doubleheader on Saturday and save everyone a trip back home and back down on Monday. But we also want to thank our friends at the Pickens County Chamber of of Commerce as well. And, of course, BJ Jones and all the folks at Jasper Coca-Cola, they'll be on board with us as well. So, again, kind of wanted to read them off because, man, when we talk about, the prep rally, or high school roundup, which we're into right now, we do want to thank all those folks. The community partners around the state are what makes it happen. Whenever we did the state basketball championships, we had the Macedonia, the East Cherokee community, the Canton community come together to celebrate the Lady Grizzlies. We had the Chatsworth community come together, to celebrate Murray County, their Final Four and state championship run all the way to the title game right there. So it's always great when we're in these areas to be able to see the local business leaders in the communities come together to support the cause. And a lot of them will be in person in Saturday down in Columbus. So, man, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing about high school sports, to be honest, is seeing the communities rally around the teams that are there. Obviously Pickens has a very good community partnership with a lot of these, local businesses. And, you mentioned guys like Paul Kiker, the brothers over there, Roland Tire, obviously had, kids come through that program, so it's always good to see them giving back, always good to see them back on board. And I'm with you, partner. I will be rooting and hoping for you to be able to get the clean sweep on Saturday. You and Art can take care of the doubleheader and bring the Dragons back home the trophy.
Yeah, well, we need you here, man. That's why we need you. You be going down there with us, man, because, I know you're a baseball guy. And so, yeah, I'd love to have you. But I know you're busy with other things right now. But we'll get you back into town eventually. So, at least that's what I'm working on. Now, I don't know. Hopefully.
Well, hey, if it was up to me,
that would be the plan right there. Hey, appreciate you guys listening to us right here on this Tailgate Thursday edition of the show. Time to talk about some of our favorite moments from the week in sports.
Time to hang it in the Louvre.
Oh, this looks nice.
Our favorite moments from the week in sports here on the Morning Rant.
All right, so again, it's been a while, like I said, since we talked last Thursday, when you were right here on the program for another Tailgate Thursday presented by Green Heating and Cooling. Your favorite moment since the last time we talked, partner? Did you see the Preakness?
No, I'm not a big fan of the ponies. I think it's kind of boring TV.
Oh, man.
Don't tell your wife I said that.
What about PGA Championship? Did you catch any of that?
Golf is also boring on TV.
See, I knew it. Here we go. We got an outlier. But you know what? That makes you different from the other co-host. And that's what I love about it. Each one of you guys brings something different to the show every day. And that's what I love. Billy's a golf guy. You're not. I mean, it's a great yin-yang. And, hey, man, y'all offset.
When you have to start taking Nugenics, that's when you start watching golf on TV. And thankfully, I'm not at that point yet.
Ooh, man. Billy D, I hope you're listening, man. I hope you're listening.
Is that an obscure reference, Nugenics? Do people know what that is?
I don't know. If you want to explain it, go for it. I mean, hey,
it's advertised on late night TV. It's a testosterone booster.
There you go, and we'll leave it at that before we get in trouble. No, because they go off the rails quick right here on this Tailgate Thursday. But no, so what was it for you, partner? What you been paying attention to lately?
Yeah, I think for me, the best moment of the week was the Canadian Sabres Game 7 goes into overtime, 3-3 game, and then just a fantastic overtime. One of the things I love about NHL overtimes, especially in a Game 7, is it truly is next one to score wins. And, obviously the Canadians pull it out, but that was top-tier entertainment. We weren't even watching it, but it pops up. I have an Apple TV, so it gives you notifications, and it's like Game 7 overtime. I'm like, all right, we got to watch it. So flipped over and gave it a peek.
I'd have to go with you on that one too, honestly, partner. I mean, that was awesome. I hate it. I was cheering for Buffalo because Big John Davis, obviously former Buffalo Bill, has a lot of friends still in Buffalo. We hear from Jim from Buffalo a lot right here on the program as well, and that's the thing to think about. I mean, for some of you listening right now on the dial, if you're in LJ, Jasper, or what have you, keep in mind, man, this show lives on the digital side as well. So we have listeners all over the country that tune in to the Morning Rant, and we appreciate that. But we do have a pocket of folks in Buffalo, that listen to the show because of John Davis, of course. And then we have folks down in Atlanta and Marietta, a lot of his former teammates and people like that. We have people probably listening out in Texas and different places as well. The analytics show that we've got different people even listening overseas, which I never really understood that. But there are some people that do listen from other countries when you pull up the analytics. So it makes me wonder if they're spying on us, but they're not going to learn a whole lot of intelligent things from this program. So I'm not sure why they would be doing that, but
Right, well, speak for yourself. I think a lot of that's VPN related, nothing like throwing yourself in Saudi Arabia to, get past some, online filters if you want to watch a, specific Netflix thing or whatever.
Right. Now, I mean, I get it, certainly. So, big weekend for NASCAR coming up as well. And for Indy, the Indy 500. This is race weekend. It's a huge weekend right here in the country. Of course, the Indy 500, which I've been to. I went to the 2000. I believe is the one I went to. It was either the 98 or the 2000. I can't remember. Eddie Cheever Jr. won it. I've been to the Indy. I've got several friends that go there a lot. And then the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte, of course, as well. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anybody's doing the double this year or not. But a big race weekend. And again, a lot of guys looking forward to the Coca-Cola 600. It's the longest race of the year. A lot going on there. And here's William Byron talking a little bit about the race setup this weekend.
In my book, it's one of the top races just because, you look at it from a points standpoint, it has a lot of points that are available to grab. So to me, that race is more important, I think, than some others. So just from purely that standpoint. But yeah, I think there's prestige in it, where it falls on the calendar and the time of year. It seems like the start to kind of the summer stretch. So just hitting that in stride is really important. Like I said, there's just more available points on the line. So that's important.
Well, we think it's one of the most important races of the year, arguably the most important race in the regular season for sure. A lot of points. The race winner for that race, if you win all the stages and win the race, I think it's 90 points you can win? So there's more opportunity in that race than any other race to score a lot of points, more stages, long grueling race, and you got to be really on point to win it.
Yeah, it's tough. This car, I feel like, it's just difficult sometimes getting, every weekend from, we get so many green flag pit stops now. It's tough to get the handling of where you need to be in traffic to start the run versus, last week at Texas, we pitted and came out and, my balance was just totally different. And so just trying to balance those things out is very difficult, anyway. But you do that at Charlotte where the track changes a lot, sun's going down, definitely makes it difficult. And, something that we talk about for weeks on end, leading up to that race.
So, again, that was William Byron, Brad Keselowski, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. On the Charlotte Coca-Cola race, again, taking place on Sunday there, Sunday night. And again, NASCAR alive and well. The Red Clay Rundown right here Monday, Thursday, and Saturday before the Braves games each and every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. It's our local dirt track show, but they also talk some NASCAR as well. We appreciate, the guys being on with us right there, Steve, and we'll do an excellent job with that program. So, again, catch those guys, Steve Newbold and Will Rigdon, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday before the Braves games air right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. Hey, we're up against our final timeout. When we come back, the Cooper Predictor and some other tidbits as we hit the final stretch in our program here today on a Tailgate Thursday presented by your friends at Green Heating and Cooling. We're on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. That's the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Financial scams are on the rise, and with AI, they're getting more and more sophisticated every day. If someone pressures you to act quickly, ask for secrecy, or request payment through gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency, stop. Legitimate financial professionals don't rush you or demand unusual payment methods. Before you send money or share personal information, slow down and verify. Protect your future. When in doubt, ask questions.
If you're suspicious of a scam, call the team at Foundation Wealth today at 706-278-0214.
Grand Slam! 98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball. We bring the heat. You bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
Back here on a Tailgate Thursday, presented by Green Heating and Cooling. Once again, a big shout out to our friends at Green. They've been getting it done since 71. They can get it done for you too. Call them today. A tradition of comfort. That's Green Heating and Cooling. Dave Garner back alongside Will Cooper. As we hit the stretch run of the program here today, the Cooper Predictor coming up in a moment right here. Your thoughts real quick. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I kind of want to get your take as we kind of lead into Chuck Oliver. The Iowa State AD coming out saying, well, if the Big Ten and the SEC want to break away from the NCAA, then let them. But here's the deal. You got to take all the other sports with you as well. And we'll see, from a financial standpoint, how that works out for you. So your thoughts on that? I mean, I know there's been some talk over time about those conferences saying, well, if we don't get our way, we'll just go form our own, thing, and we'll see how that works for you. So who's got the leverage here in this situation?
Well, the SEC and the Big Ten do, as always. I mean, the reality is that football produces so much money, it makes everything else profitable. And by the way, you also look at like the tournament in regards to the March Madness, which now they're expanding even. The SEC and Big Ten could just say, you know what, we're going to do our own thing, and all of our teams get in, and they're seeded based on how they were seeded in our tournament. That would produce so much money as well. It's a losing proposition for the Big 12, ACC. There's a reason that these teams are trying to get out of those conferences and into the Big Two, for lack of a better term. So it's a bad faith argument. I think it's nearsighted, and they would gladly. I think if they felt like they were being, denied what they wanted in football world, they would gladly throw up the money that was needed to, host track and field and hockey even. Right. They don't care.
They don't. Yeah, exactly. Great take right here on the program. Hey, some news coming across the wire. The Atlanta Braves selecting right-handed pitcher Carlos Carrasco to the Major League roster. They've optioned right-handed pitcher Victor Medeiros down to a AAA. So, again, the swapping continues right here with AA making some moves and pulling the trigger. We saw Medeiros, was it last night or the night before, I think? I mean, he pitched pretty well.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah. So, again, some moves continuing to happen there within the Braves pitching staff.
Yeah, just trying to keep fresh arms in the pen. You talk about Carrasco, pitched in 2 games this year, 2.1 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts. Over his career, he was a former starter, 112 record, 112 and 105, 4.22 career ERA as a starter. But, the big thing is just keeping fresh arms in there, because when you think about it, Martin Perez is down, obviously, with the start. They threw out Didier Fuentes a couple of times on short rest, so he's probably down. So, yeah, you've got 7, 8, 9 covered, because guys like Iglesias, Suarez, and Dylan Lee got to take the day off yesterday. But if you, for some reason, run into any issues with Spencer Strider, who's still relatively new into the season, then that's a good way to make sure that you have length in the back end. So that's probably where that move comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, making some moves right here. Now, don't you only have so many moves that you can do that, with the player throughout the season? Like, isn't there a limit? You can't just keep swapping them back and forth every series, like getting there I thought it was like 5 times or something like that. Like, isn't there I want to say there's like a maximum number of times that you can transition the same player back and forth.
Yeah, so every player has a certain limit on the amount of times they can be called up and down. It's a transaction limit. The reason that it's not a huge deal for a lot of these players is because it's when needed.
Yeah.
So a guy like Carrasco, we haven't seen him since April.
Yeah.
So it's basically, you're going to stay down there, work on this specific pitch, and then we'll bring you back up. So yeah, there are limits to it. So you can't just send the same guy up and down, and down. But that's not what the Braves are doing. They're kind of rotating through a last bullpen spot of about 10 guys at this point. So that always helps. And if you feel like you need something, then you can always pick somebody up off the trash heap, or do the old cash considerations trade.
Right, there you go. We see that a lot in Major League Baseball. Hey, the Jasper Coca-Cola text line still open, 866-888-0744. We want to hear from you. Let's hear from Coach Adam Williams, the head coach of the Pickens Dragons, on his team this year and why they've been so successful.
Well, first of all, we have really good players. So really good players help you win a lot of games. So it's really good when you run, our pitching staff out there with AJ Rice and Christian Starks and Everett Grubbs, and got people out of the bullpen like Robert Turner and Dylan Walls and kids that have started and contributed all year like Jackson Nunn and MT Crenshaw. Our lineup's been really, really solid. Robert Turner sets the tone at the top, and then Jennings Allen does a good good job in the 2-hole, and Cam Jenkins has just been a rock behind the plate. He hits third for us and has just driven in runs all year. So we've just been getting contributions from all kind of kids throughout the year, and they've played hard, they've competed, and I'm really happy for them. I'm glad they get this opportunity to keep playing.
Head coach Adam Williams, again, the head coach of Pickens Diamond Dragons baseball. They'll be in the state championship Saturday night. Our live coverage over on our sister station at 4:30 p.m. on 101.1 The Pulse. You won't want to miss it. Time now to make some predictions.
It's time for the weekly Cooper Predictor.
60% of the time, it works every time.
On the Morning Rant.
All right, so a weekly feature right here on the show, built in for my man, the Golden Boy, Will Cooper. He's got a almost flawless system for predicting ball games right there with the disclaimer, hey, don't blame me if it doesn't work out. But most of the time it does. So what you got for us this week, partners? We wrap up the show.
Yeah, as always, legal disclaimer, sports betting is illegal in Georgia. Prediction markets are not. If you're going to bet, use Kalshi or something like that that's a prediction market. Yes, it's a loophole in the law. No, I don't care how it exists. But at the end of the day, don't bet on anything, you degenerates. Make your money the honest way. With all of that out of the way. And we're going to go with tennis first. I'm going to give you Alexander Bublik. He is on in ATP Geneva. That is the quarterfinals for them. He's a pretty solid bet. Line on him right now, minus 170. So some good CLV, closing line value. He has come down a good bit in price. And then in baseball, I have a brand new predictor for you all.
Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. Updated version here. Yeah.
Updated. It's a Monte Carlo simulation of the pitchers and their over-under total strikeouts.
Okay.
Proved at about 11% ROI, which just means it wins a good bit. 3 picks for you all today. Joey Cantillo, over 4.5. Luis Severino, under 5.5. And then Sandy Alcantara, who will be starting tonight against the Braves. We have him under 4.5.
Wow. So you're going with the Marlins tonight, or you're going with Alcantara at least with his numbers?
Under 4.5 strikeouts.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there we go. All right, so the over-under on the strikeouts right here. So you're going under. So you're going to say he's going to have less than that against our Atlanta Braves tonight. Yes. Let's hope you're right, partner, because that would mean that the Braves more than likely would have another good night. It would be nice to bounce back after that 12-0 shellacking in Game 1 to be able to win the next 3 and take 3 or 4 out of Miami before returning home this weekend against the Nationals for another division series. So let's hope it plays out, man. So where are you at right now? Now, you tweaked it a little bit because I know you have a larger sample size now of games that you've been able to put under the predictor. It seems like the more and more you do that, the more and more accurate it gets, right? I mean, what's the percentage been lately? Do you know what the breakdown is?
Tennis, we're pretty consistent. We've hit it about 72% on the year.
Okay.
Which is plenty enough to make some money.
That's some good odds, yeah.
Baseball, it's this strikeout predictor's new. So the best way I can explain it in a very short amount of time is we run 5,000 simulations of every at-bat against the lineup, and it gives you most likely outcomes, and then it weighs itself against what the odds makers are telling you the edge is.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. And basically the most important thing of that is every time a pitcher goes up to start, we get new data. So yeah, we wait until the end of May to get this going. And here we are. And again, this was an 11% ROI system last year. So if you put $1,000 into it, you would get 110 back.
Yeah, well, I like it. I like it. Again, the Cooper Predictor right here in the final segment of our Tailgate Thursday edition of the program. Hey, did you see, before we get out of here, because I know you're kind of a Chargers fan. For whatever reason, you grew up a Chargers. I know LaDainian Tomlinson and all that stuff. But did you see where they had the spelling bee for the rookies and they made them get up and spell words? And the one guy's word was picnic. And he just struggled with it. And everybody was just dying laughing, man. I mean, he just had a tough time with that one for some reason. So
I enjoyed that, and I also enjoyed the Falcons making the new players pronounce Georgia names.
Yeah.
Like Dahlonega, Cairo, Houston,
Lafayette, whatever,
hilarious.
Yeah, all those different things. On another note, Nolan Smith, I think, was arrested for speeding. So the NFL meme that came out said, you can take the player out of Georgia, but you can't take the Georgia out of the player. So again, little bit of off-season news in the wrong direction for some of our Bulldog fans out there, but nonetheless, that seems to be kind of a trend. Even when these guys now get out of school. I mean, so hopefully they can reel it back in there a little bit. But yeah, OTA is going on right now, of course, for NFL as well. We'll talk more about that. And of course, college football, Chuck Oliver, the king of college football with Southern Sports Today coming up here in about 2 minutes. He'll have a little bit more on, NIL and transfer and all that kind of stuff, as he always does, the latest news and notes from around the country. But we appreciate you guys listening to us right here on the program. We've had a lot of fun on this Tailgate Thursday. You and I have covered a lot of ground. Again, wants to once again thank my man Will Cooper, the Tomahawk Take presented by the Northside Hospital Cherokee. Once again, thanks for bringing it right here on a Thursday, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, partner.
We'll talk to you again next week. Looking good, and man, you should strut with confidence with that haircut.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Once again, visit us on social media. Again, the Sports Pig on Facebook, Morning Rant, our show on Instagram as well. The full video episodes of the show daily on YouTube. The Morning Rant podcast on sportspigradio.com. You can go on there and check out all kinds of stuff. And you can also listen to us wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast, Spotify, Podbean, you name it. I'm on Twitter at DaveGarner777. He's on Twitter at Will with 1L24 Cooper. And this is the Morning Rant. We wrap up every day by saying the same thing. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the program with our Friday Happy Hour. Big John Davis back with us tomorrow. Chuck Oliver up next. We'll see you later.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.